Okay, hi. I'm Jays Goff, and we're going to be talking a little bit about confidence building and how competence actually can encourage your level of confidence. One of the things that we're doing with the Daddyhood Project is we're also going to be building up a life coaching and speaking business as well that falls in line with that. You know, essentially, as we talk to more dads and more groups, we are essentially life coaching, trying to help them capitalize on the resources that they already have, the abilities they possess, and sometimes it's just pulling the ability out of them that they don't recognize. But sometimes somebody on the outside can see what this person has to offer, and so we're going to be doing that as part of what we do with the DHP. And we just want to build people up, men and women alike, and so we're definitely looking forward to helping make that happen. So anyway, let's talk about confidence building. You know, there's a lot of books out there and everything on attitude and building up a better attitude. In fact, I'm working on a book right now that talks about that very same thing, because you would think after so many years that and so many people out there is talking and just giving motivational speeches that people would be more motivated. And sometimes that works. It does. I know at a downtime in my own life, I listened to people like Tony Robbins, John Maxwell, who I just idolize for the leadership as a leadership guru, and Zig Ziglar. Awesome guy. I love him. I just love listening to Zig, you know. And if you know Zig Ziglar, you'll appreciate the somewhat substandard impression. But I tell you what, you know, that Zig Ziglar, he always says, you know, if you help enough people get what they want, they'll make sure to help you get what you want. And anyway, I just love Zig. So that's goofy, just kind of a side thing. But anyway, when we're trying to build up our confidence, sometimes we lack it because we lack the competence. Now, competence doesn't mean if you lack the competence in something, it has nothing to do with your level of intelligence nor the ability and aptitude to grow and learn. What this means, competency, is how much you have soaked in. What's the resources, the books, the classes, the lessons, both academically and life lessons too, that we can draw on. These raise our level of competency. And so the more we know, the more we can grow. You know, we can grow in our self-esteem, our attitude, our confidence is extremely elevated once we learn to elevate the level of our competency. And so doing that requires some things on our part. It requires reading. Reading is a huge thing here. Talking to people that know more than you do. Let's say that you want to become let's just talk about life coaching. When I wanted to become a life coach, I essentially was already doing this by encouraging anywhere from my time in the military and counseling soldiers and just kind of talking them up, coaching them up. You know, just like a coach in a football team or any sports team, you come in there and you're coaching a team to do better with what they already possess within, to pull that out of them so that they can accomplish their personal goals. And when their personal goals are met, the goals of the team and the community and the organization also were met. And so coaches come along and they say, hey, you know, this is where you want to get to. We can help you get to, but what we got to do is we got to pull that out of you, and we're going to work with you to make that happen. So a level of competency for life coaching for me is just getting out there and looking at websites of other life coaches and kind of checking out some of their videos and how they're proposing themselves. It's getting out there and meeting face-to-face life coaches that deal with any area. It could be the area that I'm most interested in, life coaching, and that's going to be the roles of leadership, both in family and community, also men's ministry. That's men's groups, just talking to guys and talking them up. You know, not only telling them to step up, but helping them, encourage them in taking that step. Men's ministry leadership within the churches, that's really lacking. A lot of churches I've spoken to are really strong when it comes to women's ministries and the ministry for children. But when it comes to men, when we talk about focusing on guys, a lot of that's just focused on Bible studies or maybe getting together for a breakfast once in a while. And so we want to build up the men's ministry. So I want to get in and kind of coach them on that and look at that. How can we make men's ministry stronger in our churches? But then the third area that I'm very much wanting to working on life coaching is in the area of fatherhood. Helping men become better fathers, helping them become better husbands. This encompasses a lot of the men's ministry that I work on. So I'll be focusing on these areas. Now, doing that, knowing that that's where my passion is, and you've got to identify where your passion lies. If you're not passionate about your particular field, if you're not passionate about coaching a football team, you're not going to make a very effective football coach. The same with business. If you're not passionate about seeing a business succeed, you're not going to be a very successful coach in ensuring that business does succeed. And so, as a leader, so you've got to develop the passion for it. You've got to identify it. You do have a passion for it. And we all know some people, I've talked to young men that don't know what their passion would be, don't have a goal in life. And when I asked them, I was kind of disheartened. I spoke to one young man. I said, well, what are you passionate about? What is it? And to help him identify that, I said, what is it that every day, if you could talk about anything that you absolutely love, what is it that just gets you excited? And he really couldn't come up with anything. So I said, okay, that's cool. So what are some of your hobbies? What do you like to do? Like when you're not working, what do you like to do outside of work? And he came up, and he's a young guy, and he said he really enjoyed longboarding. And longboarding is kind of like this long skateboard, okay? You'll never see me on one. You won't see me on any size skateboard. If you do, you're going to see me on the ground next. That's usually what happens if I land on something like that. But this was a passion of his. And so I asked him, I said, well, that's awesome. That's great. Now how can you use that and explain that to other people and get them excited about it? And he really couldn't figure that out. I said, so I suggested get in touch with organizations like the Boys and Girls Town, Boys and Girls Clubs, and just see if you can go in and talk about longboarding, maybe bring some in, even maybe coach and mentor a few kids in there and say, hey, let's learn to longboard. And that will help them grow. In doing so, he is developing his passion. And so he can talk about that. But until he identifies that is truly a passion of his, he won't be able to be an effective coach. Right now, he's living life, and he's trying to just figure out the next step. What is my next step? And that's where life coaches comes in many times, is help that person identify what the next step would be, and then come up with a game plan. So that's what kind of thing we want to do with life coaching with myself and my partner, my best friend Mark, and our wives are totally on board with this to help us and support us in making this happen. So my best friend Mark and I will be developing a life coaching business as we continue to grow ourselves and develop the education and the accreditation as master life coaches. And that'll take some time, but we're working on that right now. But the thing is, we all can be life coaches right where we are. If you've ever experienced anything in life that you've grown from and you've learned from, and you've learned the valuable lessons from those things, you can now pay that forward by helping other ones reach that step, that they may avoid some of the mishaps and mistakes that you may have made. And so when you do that, then effectively you are a life coach. Now, we're going to get paid for it because we're going to be retiring from our jobs full time, and we're going to have the opportunity to finally focus more on our organization, the Daddyhood Project, and helping to build up and develop fatherhood resources here in Southwest Missouri. And at the same time, speak to businesses, agencies, organizations, groups, individuals in the areas that we feel more passionate about. Now, Mark will have to tell you about what his heart lies in, but it's definitely within ministry. We are Christian-based, so we definitely want to come at this in a way that we feel that Christ would have us lead us, and we don't want to represent our Lord in any way. So we're not out there to preach to people and say, hey, come to know Christ and all your troubles will be, solved and all your dreams will come true. That's just not truth of Christianity, and we don't want to represent in such a way. You got prosperity preachers out there taking care of that. And that's a topic, that's the discussion for another time. But for life coaching, for me, competency is in building up my confidence in that is I've got to learn more and I've got to experience more. And so if you want to build up your confidence, a lot of that is just developing more knowledge on what it is that you need to feel more confident in. If it's your job, if you're not confident in your job, learn more about your job. Study. Go to the supervisor. Go to your boss. Go to peers who may have worked there a lot longer than you and just ask questions. The more you know, like I said, the more that you know, the more that you will grow in your confidence. So, and then the more that you can actually give forward too, because as you learn, you can also help the next guy up, teach them. As you gain more years of knowledge, you can teach them. And that's what we want to do. We want to help everybody. I've discovered a long time ago that life wasn't about me and God didn't create me for me. God created me for Him, all about relationships, and for other people. So my life is dedicated to develop and build relationships with others and encourage them and help them to grow to that next level, that next step in their life. So that's kind of where we're at today for life coaching, and just kind of an introduction to where we are and where we're going to be going. And so if I can help you out in any way, whether it's in the fields that I talk about that I'm really passionate about, and that's leadership, and that can be in any level of leadership, men's ministry, men's groups, or fatherhood, please don't hesitate to contact me. You can contact me at j@daddyhoodproject.org. That's my email address. And that's daddyhoodproject.org, JAY@daddyhoodproject.org. You can also contact me at my phone at 417-298-6419. You can check me out on Facebook too. Just go to Jay Goff, check me out. The Daddyhood Project, check it out, and you can find me on there as well and send a private message to me that way. If there's issues that you think that you may need support with, but you think also other people may want to learn more about, or that they may need to hear more about, go ahead and post that on the page. And then I'll respond to that, and then we can kind of get a thread of other comments started on that. So, and that's where we'll go from there. So feel free to contact me if you have any issues, any questions or something like that. You want me to come and speak to your business, your organization, or your groups, I'm open for that, and we'll work something out on that. So give me a contact me, give me a call, email me. And until then, I hope that this moment here kind of gave you just a snippet of what we are doing. And so building up confidence right now is build up your competence. Read, research, talk to people, go to the experts in your field, and you're going to grow a lot more. Even if you walk away with one bit of wisdom, that's one bit more than you had before. So that's an investment in self. Before you can invest in somebody else, you've got to really invest in yourself. It's not selfish. Matter of fact, I think it's more selfish not to invest in yourself and try to give more to other people, because you're not giving enough of the resources that you can actually have for yourself. You don't want to deplete yourself. Okay? All that being said, I want to wish you luck. God bless you, and feel free to contact us anytime at 417-298-6419, or email me at j@daddyhoodproject.org. Until then, God bless, and we'll talk to you later.